Hey guys, what's up? It's Ryder here. Just thought I'd make a quick little discussion video here about my thoughts on Jamboree versus the other Switch Mario Party games. And the big question I'm trying to ask with this discussion, does it fix the other game's biggest issues? So I just kind of made this quick, lazy slideshow as a rough guide point for me to try and get my points across. Anyways, the major issues with Switch era Mario Party, in my opinion, are overinflated coin economy, which what I mean by that is coins are generally easier to come by with things such as small earnings for second and third in minigames, lucky spaces, and etc., and items being cheaper than they are in the past. Allies being broken, the game's pacing being too slow, and the game's bad luck slash Bowser space events generally felt less punishing, and they failed to find the proper equilibrium of quantity and quality. You will notice a couple of those points had asterisks next to them, and that's to me a problem either exclusive to or much more present in Super, was largely mitigated and or fixed entirely in Superstars. But let's go over those points one by one. Overinflated coin economy, my thoughts on that are that it'll likely still be an issue in Jamboree. Items are still relatively cheap compared to the classic games. There are still, at least from what I've seen, too many lucky spaces on boards. It's an issue I especially noticed on Western Land when I saw the layout. Oh yeah, I guess I should have put this warning ahead of time. This video will be kind of slightly spoilery for details, but I'll try to not make anything too bad. The game does seem slightly more punishing overall, with the presence of unlucky spaces, perhaps a slightly more punishing Bowser, etc., but likely not enough so to make up for the former 2 bullet points. Anyways, the one that I had the most to talk about, and this was mostly inspired by a tweet I saw regarding discussion of Jamboree the other day, and I could honestly maybe even make an entire video just about this point. Allies are broken. Time will tell, but allies seem to be much more balanced in Jamboree because this is all the stuff that all the caveats with allies. You can only have one at a time, max of 4 in Super. They don't add spaces to your roll by default, although there are some with effects, like Luigi for example. Double effects on spaces, both positive and negative, including Bowser. They only last for 3 turns, can be stolen if a player passes you, have to win a special minigame to even obtain them, meaning it's more likely the more skilled players get them. No bonus star, I think, is tied to them, and I think, although this remains to be seen fully, there are no minigames in which having an ally gives you a direct advantage. In spite of all that being said, allies should be a benefit to your game, and if it honestly weren't for the double effects on spaces stuff and being able to buy like 2 stars, 2 items, and whatever, along with the Jamboree effects, which are mostly not massive. There's one character I think that's a notable exception to that. I would argue they had been too heavily nerfed, but as I said, that being said, allies should be a benefit to your game, which this is them being that, but way less broken than their original iteration in Super. The game's pacing is too slow. The rest of these are going to be a lot more brief, don't worry. The game's pacing is too slow. This issue was largely fixed in Superstars, although in Jamboree it seems like there are a lot more moments of cutscenes. Hopefully they are as skippable, or at the very least you can fast forward them. Ally minigames are significantly longer than normal minigames. They could grind the game to a halt if multiple of them can happen during a game, although I'd have to assume there's probably only 1, maybe 2 in longer term rule sets per game though. The game's bad events are less punishing, and honestly I kind of lost my train of thought here, so this is kind of just a vibe thing. It's probably really about the same. But if I had to guess, the bad events will probably be somewhere between that of Superstars and the classic games. They're probably closer to that of Superstars in terms of how punishing they are. And a lot of the bad things, which is something that I noted, that can happen to you, seem like they'll be a result of player choice with items such as Markup Sticker, which is something that I love, because it encourages people hating each other, which is what Mario Party should be at its core, at least in my opinion. Failed to find the balance between quantity and quality. Lastly, simple to say here again, there's a lot of quantity in this game. The problem's going to be if the quality suffers as a result, like was the case in the original Super, though what I've seen so far looks really promising. My overall thoughts in conclusion are, I feel like some of these quirks at this point that annoy some of us, such as the overinflated coin economy, etc., might just be the direction NDCube wants to take the series in. Their goal is trying to bring back the classic style of Mario Party that people love, while throwing in some of their own new ideas. For what it's worth, though, most of my biggest issues with the series and the Switch era have been at least partly improved on throughout the era, which shows me that the team is indeed listening and has hopefully learned from the Era 2 games. And so anyways, that's it. I just wanted to get this brief Ramble video out, and thanks for watching.